saw that. We'll wait a couple minutes.
Okay.
'Cause I think we have about.
And is it this one to go forward?
Yeah, right
Okay.
is forward, left is back, yeah. Just test it for the fun of it to make sure that it's working with Canva. Yep,
Yeah.
good. Jay Paisley, his advisor probably taught him that. Burge is just going, he succumbs to peer pressure, so it's James' fault. Okay, everybody, last presentation, so please again put your phones away. We have about 15, 20 minutes more, so give your attention to and a warm welcome to Hillary.
By 2027, the 2022 Beauty Industry Trends Marketing Review predicts the beauty industry will exceed $784.6 billion in revenue. Renee Anglin, professor of psychology at Weinberg College, estimates within all beauty industry sales, women are responsible for 85%. According to a survey by the Renfrew Center Foundation of 1,300 women, nearly half feel unattractive or insecure when leaving home without makeup. In a survey by the National Library of Medicine, 75% of 33,000 females aged 15 to 35 believe themselves fat when questioned about their attitudes towards their bodies. In reality, 25% were overweight. The correlation between these studies of women dissatisfied with their appearance and the rise of revenue in the beauty industry is apparent. Consistently, women fall short of the advertised beauty ideal, resulting in an increased spending on beauty products. My name is Hillary Deschamps, and I am beauty sick. Anglin defines beauty sickness as women's emotional energy getting so bound up with what they see in the mirror that it becomes difficult to see other aspects of their lives. Beauty obsession is financially and time-consuming, and physically and mentally taxing. At a young age, I started the pursuit towards a beauty ideal, which I naively thought was created in my favor. Losing weight, working out, dyeing my hair, covering my face, buying clothes, missing out on experiences, losing myself, feeling I don't deserve a full life if I look anything less than ideal. My consumption with body monitoring comes off as incredibly superficial, putting so much emphasis and worth on my appearance. However, the reality is, as society has pummeled women with the message that, as women, the most important thing we can be is beautiful, then a standard of beauty which is physically impossible to achieve is forced upon us. Gail Dines, professor of women's studies and sociology at Wheelock College, defines our environment as an image-based generation. This notion is supported by the massive amount of media we consume daily. With the rise of social media in the 2010s, the consumption of media is more available than ever before. According to Pew Research Center, 90% of teenagers aged 13 to 17 use social media. Henricks and DeBassis in the Journal of Social Media and Its Effects on Beauty shows social media having a, quote, major impact on perpetual, affected, in cognitive and behavioral aspects of body image, end quote. This is an increasing phenomenon of low self-concept clarity. Self-concept clarity is defined by the Journal of Consumer Psychology as a sense one has of their identity. From this journal, it's seen consumers with low self-concept clarity have an increased attentiveness to publicize self-aspects and concerns with how they're perceived. As beauty companies know, the unhappier the consumer is with their appearance, the more they'll invest to pursue an ideal that is promoted as accepted. Advertisers market product solutions to consumers, increasing their revenue. This, however, isn't a one-time transaction. Pushing a female ideal which is dependent on appearance, advertisers profit off women remaining in a constant pursuit of a highly manipulated beauty ideal. This ideal is profitable as it's connected to the human desires of love and acceptance. By pairing product advertisements with the good life lifestyle, England has found an association between the two in the brain. Emphasis on continuous self-improvement is rooted in American individualism, promoting a notion of an improved self waiting within. Marketers sell false hopes and dreams more than products, selling a hope that if you use their new product, you'll feel more beautiful and mirror the appearance of the endorser, selling the dream that when you look beautiful, life will significantly improve. Mainstream media further ingrains the connection between the female beauty ideal and human desires by pairing the opposite of the ideal with ridicule. In an analysis of over 1,000 characters on 10 popular TV programs, the American Journal of Health found thinner women are substantially more likely to be shown in romantic relationships, whereas heavier women are likelier to be targets of jokes at their own expense. In magazine advertising, images are digitally altered to remove imperfections. This leaves women feeling inadequate and dissatisfied, further leading to compensatory consumption, an action termed by psychologists as feeling compelled to purchase a product when reminded of one's own perceived weakness. Research conducted by Liza Blue, a psychology major, shows buzzwords used in marketing such as award-winning product and clinically proven, when characterized by the ambiguity and truthfulness of claims, 18% of the 757 claims lived up to its advertised features. Problematically, women are feeling contemptuous of themselves when their flaws aren't solved with products misleadingly promising a solution, causing them to practice unhealthy behaviors and spend a significant amount of their income in pursuit. This cycle of underperformance and pursuit is best illustrated in an explanation from the Butterfly Foundation. Quote, "The perfect body is a socially constructed phenomenon that doesn't exist. Images of the perfect body presented in mainstream media have often been highly edited, airbrushed, and manipulated. They are not realistic for the general population. Striving for this unrealistic and unattainable beauty ideal can result in feelings of shame, guilt, and dissatisfaction when an individual's body inevitably doesn't match up. A body that is in vogue is bound to change, so while we strive to achieve that particular body, a new trend is already emerging to ensure beauty, fashion, and diet industries can continue to profit by shifting the benchmark and starting new trends." End quote. In a study conducted by England of over 200 college women viewing ads from women's magazines, 80% of the women made at least one social comparison to the ad. Comparisons included, "I wish I had a perfectly flat stomach like hers," and "God, she's pretty, why can't I be that pretty?" Viewing ads led women to generate wish lists of their skin needing more tone, having too much acne, hating their hips, their chest being too big, and their stomachs not being flat enough. From her research, England discovered that those with the highest level of body dissatisfaction made the most social comparison. According to the National Eating Disorder Association, body image issues resulting from misleading imagery contributes to a health crisis of eating disorders among women. The use of ultra-thin and digitally altered models in advertising distorts the reality of what real women look like. The University of Queensland monitored 65 women debating the body shape of models and found that they were confused about what constitutes a healthy body shape. Concerningly, in a study from the Melpomene Institute for Women's Health Research, 74% of female participants chose a body shape that was at least 10% underweight. Concerns of body weight are highly prevalent among women, but stem from appearance, not health. And the beauty myth in female consumers, survey data reports more than half of healthy weight women perceive themselves as too heavy. By encouraging a lean body and portraying slim women as more successful and beautiful than overweight women, marketers are promoting the message that, to be accepted, you must be slim. With media easily accessible to younger generations, beauty ideals are promoted to young girls, harming their relationships with their bodies. A study published in a content analysis of advertisements on teen websites showed 34% of 5-year-old girls engaged in deliberate dietary restraint at least sometimes. Further, 28% say they desire a body like the women they see in the media. According to the International Journal of Eating Disorders, between ages 5 and 9, 40% of girls say they wish to be thinner. A third of third-grade girls report they are always afraid of becoming fat. Girls are taught the main function of their body is to attract others. Emphasis on appearance is intertwined in children's commercials. The Journal of Consumer Affairs found 9 out of 10 commercials focused on appearance and morning TV programming were aimed towards girls. A comedic bit by Jon Stewart on The Daily Show in 2015 further demonstrates the role appearance plays in womanhood. Following celebrity Caitlyn Jenner's transition, Stewart defined what being a woman in America entailed, saying, quote, "Caitlyn, when you were a man, we could talk about your athleticism, your business acumen. But now you're a woman, which means your looks are the only thing we care about," end quote. The reality of the statement couldn't be bleaker. Much like my concerns on the power advertisers hold, Gail Dines poses the question, quote, "Are we going to let the media, controlled by a handful of major corporations, define who you are and what you are? Or are we going to say it is our culture and we have the right to define who we are," end quote. With an annual growth rate of 4.7%, as found in the 2022 Beauty Industry's Marketing Trends, the beauty industry trends marketing tactics are successful, so it's naive to believe significant change will happen inside the beauty industry, and most change that has occurred within beauty companies has proven to be unsuccessful in mitigating its effects on women. CVS Pharmacy requires beauty brands in its stores to use a disclaimer label to mark altered images. Several groups of researchers, as noted by England, have found disclaimer labels to not be beneficial. Results show women noticing the disclaimers and having a heightened desire to look like the model. Oh, I think we're on this one. Women who viewed ads with disclaimers were also more likely to self-objectify and more prone to negative thoughts. Largely, the use of disclaimer labels has minimal impact on digitally altered images affecting women's self-perception. In a survey from the Journal of Health Psychology, a strong point was made as to why labels weren't beneficial. Lacking context of what's been altered, the altered image is more powerful than the words accompanying it. Some companies have shifted advertising campaigns to self-love and the message of beauty the way you are. An article from Vogue covered how some brands remove the term like flawless, poreless, and ageless from their branding. Other brands, like Dove, claim to not digitally alter their models. Bennett Weiser, director of Dove's ad agency, explains the shift in models as, quote, "Women will respond positively to a brand making the most of the good people have rather than a brand compounding their insecurities," end quote. While reducing the emphasis on insecurities is progress, these campaigns have been found to encourage body monitoring, rarely resulting in a positive outcome. Generally, women who feel unattractive don't believe it when they're told they're beautiful. This further emphasizes the importance of beauty in womanhood. In her book, Beauty Sickness, England emphasizes the importance of the dissatisfied woman in the profit of beauty companies, explaining, quote, "Companies have a vested interest in keeping you dissatisfied with your appearance. Profit is directly tied to their ability to make you believe that their products will move you closer to the beauty ideal," end quote. For this reason, the most productive solution to mitigating the effects of women in the beauty industry is reducing the value of beauty through changing the conversation. Changing the conversation starts during childhood, while girls are impressionable and learning how to interact with their bodies and surroundings. England conducted a study on women and the impact their mother's body image had on their relationship with their body. Regardless of body size, women who believed their mothers were dissatisfied were more likely to be body dissatisfied themselves. Further, a study in the Journal of Adolescent Health of mothers and their 5 to 8-year-old daughters revealed the more mothers self-objectified, the likelier it was for their daughters to engage in beauty culture traditionally associated with teens and women. Mothers participating in body talk and stressing the importance of appearance in the presence of their daughters teaches girls body hatred as acceptable and a natural way of womanhood. This emphasizes beauty and places it on a pedestal. Reducing the emphasis on beauty starts in adolescence and in the home. Instead of focusing on beauty as a defining feature of the body, practicing and exemplifying body appreciation will teach girls to appreciate themselves beyond their appearance. As England points out, quote, "If we want to improve women's physical and mental health, we don't need to spend less time talking about beauty and more time talking about issues that matter more. We don't need to talk about beauty differently. We need to talk about it less," end quote. Body appreciation, as Ohio State University has found, is correlated with greater self-esteem, increased optimism, more frequent use of healthy and proactive coping styles. Furthermore, body appreciation is associated with less body dissatisfaction and disordered eating. In interviews published in Body Image, women who had highly positive body images were able to block out messages challenging their ability to appreciate their bodies. The impact of the beauty industry on how women perceive themselves and their worth is a deep-rooted cultural norm, harming women physically and emotionally. As the beauty industry is predicted to continue growth at a considerable rate, steps are needed to discontinue the power advertisers have in determining women's worth. As Englund notes, quote, "Even more important, obsession with beauty matters because it's hard to change the world when you're too busy trying to change your body, your skin, and your hair, and your clothes. It's difficult to engage with the state of the economy, the state of politics, or the state of our education system if you're too busy worrying about the state of your muffin top, of your cellulite, or of your makeup," end quote. Parents are crucial in stopping the trend of negative body talk through fostering a climate focusing on traits other than appearance. The emphasis of beauty can be shifted to encouraging hard work, kindness, and generosity. To initiate decreasing the emphasis of beauty, compliments towards girls can shift to center around something she's in control of, such as her passions or her efforts. Fostering a positive view of the body, as psychologists have found, is started through self-compassion. Practicing self-compassion takes the form of treating oneself with kindness and accepting that part of being human is having flaws and imperfections. The accumulation of forces emphasizing the defining feature of a woman is her body contributes to the normalization of women viewing themselves as a social object to be consumed by others. Devaluing the emphasis of beauty in your life can help to heal your relationship with your body, help influence others on how they view themselves, and devalue the power beauty advertisers hold. I'd like to close my presentation with a poem by Rupi Kapoor on the disservice done to girls by putting an extreme emphasis and fixation on beauty, neglecting their achievements of passion and intelligence. I want to apologize to all the women I have called pretty, before I've called them intelligent or brave. I'm sorry I made it sound as though something as simple as what you were born with is the most you have to be proud of. Thank you.
Questions?
Okay. Yeah, oh, great, it's on. So first of all, just congratulations, Hillary, for this really fantastic presentation. My question for you, you've spoken at length about the role of predatory advertising in this really pervasive cycle. At one moment earlier in your presentation, you mentioned a figure of about 90% of adolescents using social media. What role do you think social media consumption and social media influencers play in this cycle?
In like advertising, like social media contributes with advertising and like on women's health? Is that what you're asking?
In toxic beauty images.
I think social media, especially right now, is having a major impact on how women view themselves because it's hard to tell when an image is edited and manipulated, whereas in magazines and maybe on TV, it's more generally known those images aren't very truthful. But on social media, when you're viewing images of celebrities or it be your peers, it's not always clear when images are manipulated, and it can impact you of why you aren't measuring up to the beauty standard.
Do you think that the culture around like wearing makeup and things has changed slightly over the years? Well, of course it has, but like, how do you how has it changed for you rather now, and how do you like view that change, like for like a lot of women saying like, oh, I don't wear makeup because I want to like look pretty for anybody else. I just wear makeup because I like it. And what would you think of that?
Would you say your question a little bit louder? It's hard to hear you.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
What do you think of like women and things who say, I don't wear makeup for other people. I wear makeup for me, or because I like it, not because I like it because it changes me in some way. Just I like it as a form of art or something.
I think I understand what you're saying. I can't speak for other women, but personally, I know I say that I like wearing makeup for myself because I think it is a place of expression, and I think it is an art form. But I also definitely know that part of it is feeling like I need to perform better for society to accept me and to be respected. So I'm not sure how other women who genuinely believe it's just for themselves feel, but I know it's a bit of both for me. So it could be that way for others.
I know you had mentioned earlier in the presentation about women having certain fitness expectations too. Did you look into the athletic side at all in terms of certain athletic products being marketed and how that kind of plays a role in body image?
I didn't have time to look into that, but I'd definitely be interested in it because I'm very much into athletics myself. So I think it would be very interesting to look at how that's promoted to women as well.
Let's say you have a friend that is overweight, like she's overweight by the definition of exceeding the BMI standards, the height to weight ratio. Would you rather either just straight up tell her like you're overweight, you need a change, or you would rather like to tell her to appreciate your own body, like self-love or something? Like, which one would you prefer and why?
Personally, I believe with my own journey, I know it's more helpful to appreciate yourself through. If they're unhealthy, then it's definitely a good way. Like, you definitely want them to be healthy, but it shouldn't come from a place of body hatred. Because even like, I know I've personally lost weight because I used to be overweight, but I still feel body dissatisfied because it came from a place of not liking myself rather than a place of body compassion. So I would definitely promote both body compassion and getting healthy.
You mentioned earlier how beauty standards and trends have changed over time. How does that work, and what makes them change?
I think beauty trends mostly change with media. I think media is in like movies and television is a big contributor to influencing on how women view themselves and like the trends and expectations. But I mostly think it's a thing that's changing with the time, so industries can continue to profit off an ideal which can't be reached because there isn't an ideal because it's constantly changing.
All right, one more round of applause
Thank
for
you.
Hillary. Thanks very much. All right, everybody. Seniors, just a couple weeks to go. Congratulations, Capstone Day is over. Juniors, some inspiration.